Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Kathy Fitzmaurice from the Central Office, and I'll be your host for today's webinar, Advanced Advertising Methods for Facebook Marketing. Your microphones and telephones are currently muted to eliminate background noise during the program. We'll take questions at the end of the presentation. To ask a question, type it into the question box on your control panel, or if you have a working microphone, raise your hand by clicking on the hand icon, and I'll unmute you. Today's program is being recorded and will be available through WebMQS in the Shared Resources section. I'd like to thank Kia Sagru, Business Advisor from our Watertown SBDC, for arranging this webinar, and Kia will introduce our presenters. Welcome, Kia.
Good morning, Kathy. Thank you for having us today. We have Christopher Lorence with us, owner and operator of Christopher A. Lorence Public Relations and Marketing. Along with him is Kayla Fujinaka, an independent social media marketing specialist. The Watertown SBDC has been hosting several social media marketing workshops presented by Chris and Kayla, and some of you may have seen them present at staff conference last spring. Chris, Kayla, thank you for being with us today.
Good morning, everybody. This is Chris. Kayla will be joining us in just a few minutes. I'm going to start us off. It's informal. We're going to make this informal. We're going to try and do this in a very compressed amount of time. Normally, this takes a couple hours. And what we're going to talk about today is focus mostly on Facebook, but what I want to stress to you and what we're going to stress to you is this can go across to just about any social media platform. It's just that maybe the methods and the tools would change for Instagram, for LinkedIn, for Google Plus, etc., which we actually do seminars specifically towards those, but it's the concepts that would stay the same. And what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about how can you use like Facebook or Instagram or any of those particular tools as an advertising method, just like you would your traditional methods of TV and radio and more of the common things that a lot of the small to medium-sized businesses or even the large businesses, but we focus in on small to medium-sized businesses, how they would work and blend this into their limited budgets and really get more results than they might with the traditional. So with that said, I want to show you a first screen. And there we go. Okay. Nope, it didn't change. We're working on it. There we go. Okay. How many of you have been on a Facebook page or your own personal page or any kind of a page and had something like this pop up? And then this happened to me this weekend. That's why I put this on there. I was on Googling, which, forgive my reference, but Google is God. Google knows everything we do all of the time, where we've been on the internet, where we've searched, what we look at, anywhere. So I was looking for a vacation rental in the Finger Lakes. And all of a sudden, later that day, all throughout the weekend, I get sponsored ads appearing on my personal Facebook page showing me vacation rentals by owner. Starts appearing also on other web pages that I go to, like my Time Warner page, et cetera, et cetera. The concept we're going to talk about today is your clients or businesses, local businesses, can be that sponsored ad. Now, maybe you know this, maybe you don't know this, maybe your businesses know this, but that's the power of advertising with that. Okay, so here's a local example of a business we work with, the Sackett's Boathouse up in beautiful Sackett's Harbor. You take the first post on the left, and the first post on the left is a traditional post where they have a restaurant and they have a special that they're going to run during the week where they're taking $1 off a sandwich. So it's a regular post, and then we boosted that post where we put it out to different people and we said, here's what we're going to do with it. But the one on the left is just the regular post, shows an ad, shows an image, explains what it is. Now the one on the right shows how we boosted it. Okay? So the one on the left shows it reached 1,857 people. That was an organic post just on its own, because I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, but starting a few years ago, you can have 5,000 or 10,000 likes on your Facebook page, but if you don't boost it, Facebook no longer lets promotional or sales or items like that go to all of your likes anymore. They basically have an algorithm that says, oh, you're trying to sell something. We're going to turn that faucet off and make you start to pay for it. So now your posts don't go to all your likes anymore. Might go to 15%, might go to 20%, might go to 50% of your likes. All depends on what you're trying to do. So what it did in this case on the left is it said, oh, you're trying to promote a sale of a product. We're going to limit that because the boathouse has almost 6,000 likes. So it basically said, we're only going to let it go to about a third or less than a third of your normal likes, and that's what it did. So then we boosted it. We spent $50. We sent it out to a bunch of different people that don't like their page already based on interest, which Kayla is going to go through in great detail. And you can see then we reached 6,800 people, a lot of them with different places and people that never even heard of the boathouse. And it ended up being basically showing up like it was in the Facebook feed of that VRBO. That's what we're going to try and accomplish. That's what we're going to try and do with Facebook advertising. All right. So with that said, we're going to dive right in, and Kayla is going to take over the guts of the seminar from here, and we'll go from there.
Hey guys, good morning. This is Kayla. Well, let's dive right in here and get to some of the nitty-gritty. That's kind of my specialty here. If I can get this up and running again, it looks like it might have frozen. Just a sec. Okay, so the statistics for Facebook, I'm not going to sit here and spit them out to you. I think you can read them off the page here pretty well. The big thing that you want to know is that it is the largest audience of all social media channels. Behind Google, it is one of the largest search engines on the internet right now. Your traditional age demographic is also important to note, as that's going to change. Like if your business has a typically older crowd, and no offense to anybody over 34, but the traditional age demographic for Facebook is 25 to 34 years of age. And now that's not saying that there aren't people who are over the age of 34 using this, but your largest demographic on Facebook is 25 to 34, and you have to keep that in mind when you're marketing. So what's the objective of Facebook marketing? A lot of people are like, well, I'm a business, I need to sell. That's not necessarily true on Facebook. Facebook marketing is about engaging people, how you respond and interact with them, entertaining them, not just selling, informing them and educating your customers about your business or your organization, and then having the ability to attract people by being professional, consistent, and the key word here is relevant. That's a really important word to know these days. So the first thing you have to ask yourself when you are marketing on Facebook is, what do you hope to accomplish? Are you trying to increase clicks to your website? Do you want more likes on your page? Do you want customers to visit your store? Do you want people to know what your business is about? Because all of those things are going to change and influence what type of ad that you're going to put on Facebook and how you should word that ad. Organic posts. So what do I mean by organic? Organic posts mean, or organic reach, is an unpaid distribution of your post. That could be people who like your page, or if people who like your page have shared your post. That's the total number of unique people who are shown your post through unpaid distribution. So why do I say it still has a place? Here's that word again, relevant. You want to be fresh and relevant. Your posts will stick around a lot longer if more people can relate to it. If you're posting quality content, people are also going to respond to that. Have you ever seen where those people will post, I don't know, about 8 times a day? Yeah, don't do that. Less often is always better. But having that quality content is just something that you can't match. And then if you're using post targeting on your organic posts, you can actually use this. There's a feature on Facebook. I don't have time to show you that right now, but go ahead and jot that down for yourself. And then I would challenge you to go home and Google it and look that up. And because there are step-by-step instructions on the internet to show you how to do that. That will help you zero in on the right audience. And then you can obviously mix it up with images, videos, and links. If you're just posting text, odds are that a lot of people are not going to respond to that. So here's some examples of good organic posts. Here, there are things here that are showing you that people aren't just selling, they're informing, they're engaging, they're entertaining, and they're showing something that's relatable. So the one on the left, they're showing it's relatable because this is something that some kids went through and did, and a lot of people got in on this. I don't have the number at the bottom, but there were over 1,000 views and over 16 shares on this post. And obviously they are pictures. The more visual aids that you can have on a post, the better. So definitely keep that in mind. And if you are using local people, like, you know how it says on the top of that one on the left, we actually tag the school. So that means that more people are automatically going to see your post because it will tell their followers that it'll tell the school that they've been tagged in a post, and it will actually show up on a suggested feed. So that's something that you keep in mind too on there. Delivering posts on your page. This is something that's more towards the ads, but it's something you can use on your post as well. If you're doing a video, you can do. There's a lot of different types of apps on your phone nowadays that allow you to do all kinds of really cool things to post on Facebook. Whether that's Canvas. Different photos to where you're doing a slideshow or video, if you're showing multiple images all at once, all of those different things, and including links where you can shop now. If you have a link to your website where you have a shop, learning more about your company by attaching a link to your website of the About You page, and things like that. Videos are 3 to 4 times more likely to be viewed, so that's why I say they're so important, especially these days, because, again, people have short attention spans, so the faster you can catch them, the better. Let's move on to boosting a post. Boosted posts, I don't know if you've ever seen them on your page. I think Chris gave you a couple examples at the beginning, but they are often labeled sponsored, and they appear more frequently in the news feed, which means that more people have the opportunity to see them. Your cost depends largely on how many people you want to reach, and I'll kind of go into that a little bit more in a second. And you can set a different budget option, which I will also show you in a second, so you can kind of ignore that text because I know there's a lot there. So how to boost. So this is kind of a step-by-step, just a little visual so that you can actually see what I'm talking about without me saying, oh, okay, go to your computer and do this. So step 1, you're going to click on that boost post here. And this is after you've done a post. We often tell people to do an organic post first, so the unpaid distribution, and let it sit, or as we like to say, marinate. And we like to let it marinate for a few days and see how it does. If you're getting really good feedback on that post, go ahead and boost it, because a post that's getting more likes and shares organically is going to translate really well in a boost, and you're not going to have an issue with it reaching a lot of people because it's relatable. So step one, you're going to hit on your boost post. This is off of an organic post that she had here. And this screen is going to pop up, and it's going to show you your audience. You can choose, it has a lot of different options. You can create a new audience, or you can choose one, people you choose through targeting, which you can then edit if you so choose. And I'll show you that in a second. And then go to the next screen here. So this is the people you choose through targeting option. All of these things are things you can change: the gender, the age, the locations. I would highly recommend that you choose several different location options. What they will do is it'll show you an overlapping map, so you can catch all the different areas you didn't even know of. And I think Chris has something to add, so just a second. Let me let him add that in.
Oh, Chris, you're still on mute, Chris, here.
Maybe just,
There you go.
There you go.
The location is key, especially if you want to target businesses or not businesses, geographic areas outside of your location. We have fishing charter companies up here on the Lake Ontario and St. Lawrence River area, and they aren't necessarily marketing to people in this neck of the woods. They're marketing to people in Pennsylvania, Long Island, New Jersey, places that come here for vacations. So that's what's great about the boosting. And later on, when she talks about the ad campaigns, you can pick like geographic areas, such as, like, they might pick Philadelphia, 25-mile radius. They might pick cities and towns they know on Long Island, 25-mile radius. Same with, or they might pick Allentown, or they might pick Harrisburg, or things like that. And you can literally pick a number of them. And so it's going to reach people in those areas. And later on, she'll explain the interests that come up and have Google searched or do those type of things, and then it will show up in their Facebook area. So it doesn't have to just be your neck of the woods. It can be out of the area that will show up, like it did with my VRBO.
Okay, great addition. Thank you. That's why we're a team. So really here, what you're going to be wanting to think about, or you're going to want to get your businesses to think about if you're advising people, is you want them to think about who's looking for them. You want them to step inside of the shoes of a potential client and think about those things from their point of view. What are they looking for? What age are they? Are they male? Are they female? I have a client, Tug Hill Winery out here, and she found out after looking at several of her results from her ads that it was no longer beneficial for her to market to men. It was more beneficial for her to market to women. It was costing her twice as much money to market to men, and it was just dragging her ads down. So she just started pushing all of her ads to women. So there's different things like that where at the end of this process, when you start from the beginning like this, and you're kind of like, well, maybe I don't know my audience very well. At the end of this process, you can look at the results from your ad and go, oh, hey, I was missing that. And it's going to help you to do great things in figuring out who your audience actually is. So step 4 is choosing targeting options. So what are they searching for where you are going to appear as a sponsored ad in front of their face? So like with Chris, he was actually looking for a VRBO, and that is what popped up in front of his face. And what we tell people all the time is, hey, that could be you. Those are the things that you have to think about. So like for this specific ad that I chose as a example here, she is a chalk artist out of Seattle, Washington, and her primary audience is women between the ages of 20 and 55. And some of their interests might include calligraphy, decor, home ideas, handwriting, and then Facebook is going to start populating suggestions for you based off of those interests that you have already picked. You can be as specific in this as their income level. So if you want people, I had a client who makes bespoke suits for people, and we did a boost where we targeted people making over $500,000 a year. So you can be that specific, or you can be as general as you want. All you have to keep in mind is this little meter right here. This meter should be somewhere right around the middle. If you start to see it going towards the yellow, or if you start to see it going towards too specific, it's really going to narrow your audience and you're not going to reach as many people as you want to. And it'll keep telling you what your potential reach will look like. See over here, we went from 1.2 million people down to 6,500 people based on the interest that she picked. So those are all things that you have to keep in mind when you are building your potential audience. You don't want to limit yourself, but you also want to be specific enough that it's going to reach the people that you want it to. Oh, okay, let's keep moving along here. So finishing up on boost, so step 5, you're going to choose your budget. Now, please note your estimated people reached will change based on how much you're willing to spend, because guess what? Facebook is like, hey, I want that money. Shocking, I know, in today's day and age that you have to pay more money for something. So obviously, if you want to reach more people, you're going to have to add more dollars to your budget to do that. Now, that's not to say that you're going to have to add, you know, $100 more to your budget. That's the great thing about boosted posts and posts in general, or ad spend on Facebook or social media channels. It's a lot less than traditional marketing. It's very flexible. So if something's not working for you, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to change that. And you can change it that day, that hour, that minute if you wanted to. So down here, you're going to see that you will spend an average of $1.14 a day running for 7 days, and that's with a total budget of $8. So again, if you change that to $30, this audience here is going to change from 1,400 to 3,700 people to maybe 2,300 people to 6,000 people. And again, it's all an estimate based on what Facebook has in front of them. So step 6 is you're going to click on boost, and normally it takes Facebook less than 5 minutes to approve your post. That is a boosted post. Do we have any questions at this point? Oh, we're doing it at the end. Okay. Moving on. So boosting a video ad, so you're going to go through all the same steps that you just did for boosting a post, except you're going to do it off of a video that you posted to your page. Some general guidelines for videos. I always say keep them really simple and short. You want movement in the first 2 to 3 seconds. You want a good edit, good lighting. You don't want to look like an 80s infomercial. And you want to have a good thumbnail showing. So don't pause it or have a thumbnail where someone's face is all distorted and they look like a crazy person, obviously. 20% rule. Have 20% text. That's what that means. And that goes for anything that you put on Facebook. Excuse me. So the next question I get a lot is, should you use Facebook ad campaigns? Just a second. I'm sorry. Ooh, allergies. So should you use Facebook ad campaigns? Oh, and of course it froze again. Oh my goodness. Don't you love technology, you guys? So some professional advice, master the basics. So, and what are the basics? Boosting a post, promoting your page, and making an offer. I'll go through those in just a second here. And then you can graduate to Facebook ad campaigns. They're a little bit more complicated, and your knowledge from going through and mastering the basics will allow you to have more confidence in building those ad campaigns. But yes, you should definitely use them, and the options that they hold can be really effective for small businesses in general. And that is something that you should be, as an advisor, telling your clients as well. but this is just a little bit of professional advice. So why do I say use them? So there's a lot more complex ad designs you can choose. Carousels, slideshows, Canvas, those are all things that are built into Facebook. In particular, they already have those built in, so all you have to do is upload images. You can have a call to action button. There's all these different things. And remember, I said in the beginning, you want to keep an objective in mind. So if you know what you're trying to reach, all of the ads on there have very specific goals in mind, whether it's clicks to your website, different things like that. So on here, you have more placement options on your ad campaigns, like do I want them to go just on the desktop news feed, the mobile news feed, the right column, Instagram, or your audience network? Those are all things that you can choose. And then you have different targeting options than you would on a boosted post or a fake page promotion or things like that, where you can choose core audience, custom audiences, or lookalike audience. A lot of people don't know about a lookalike audience. It is a way to reach new people who are likely to be interested in your business because they're similar to customers you care about. And that's something that Facebook will automatically populate for you if you choose the lookalike option. And a lot of people don't know about it because it is in this ad campaign set. And Facebook will automatically pull a whole brand new set of people that are similar to customers that you already have that you didn't even know existed. So some things to keep in mind on Facebook ads. These are some things that Facebook will tell you in all their little fine print, but they don't really necessarily promote this. Ads cannot say things about a person's characteristics, so not acceptable. Are you Christian? You can't say that in an ad. You can say, meet Christian women. 2, vulgar language. You can't have any insulting, vulgar, or offensive language, or Facebook will not run your ad. You can also not put in any deceptive claims, no false information, fraudulent, or misleading claims or content. If you do make a claim, you have to be able to substantiate it. And then, like I said before, the 20% rule. You have to have 20% or less text, or your ad will not be approved. So 80% should be something else, and only 20% should be text. So 80% image or video, 20% or less. And I would err on the side of less text. And again, that's because Facebook doesn't want you selling something without paying for it. You can also you don't want to have any weapons or anything like that. I mean, there's a whole list of like 20 things. You can go on Facebook and just go on there and look. Yeah, if you, Chris just reminded me for the 20% or less text rule, you can put the rest of that text in your actual ad itself. You don't have to have it right on the front screen. So don't worry about that. Like if your clients are like, well, I have all this to say, like, how am I going to get this out? They can still get it out. It just doesn't have to be on that main screen. So where do you go to do an ad campaign? So when you're in your personal Facebook page, you can see up here, I have all of my pages, and then you come down and you say, I want to create an ad. You hit create ads, and then your ads creation campaign manager is going to open. And then it's going to ask you, hey, what's your marketing objective? And then you're going to say, okay, well, I want to either do awareness, consideration, or conversion. And like I said before, all of those things target very specific ad campaign objectives. So are you pushing traffic to your website? Are you wanting people to engage you, which means do you want to have a conversation with people? Do you want them to like your post? Do you want them to share your post? Are you looking for app installs? If you have a client like a bank, maybe they have an app they want to push, video views, lead generation, and then like conversion, people coming to the store, sending people to an online shop, different things like that. For example, engagement, there are further explanations and further goals under the campaign name. So like if you picked engagement, for example, it'll ask you, hey, are you looking for post engagement, page likes, or event responses? So they're very intuitive. They have a lot of different things that you can pick once you get in there, but you have to know, or your client has to know what they're looking for when they go in to choosing a ad campaign, or quite honestly, they're probably going to waste their money. Audience placement. Again, this is a lot like boosts. So like I said, so once you get in and are a lot more comfortable with boosts, you can get in here and you can be confident enough to say, oh, hey, this looks familiar. And there's a couple of things in here that are new. So you can create a new audience. So like I said, you can create that lookalike audience. All of your meter things are going to be on the side now, as opposed to the boost where they were on the bottom. And then you can go through and do the exact same things that you would do in a boost, doing location items, age, gender. You can even pick languages if you're trying to reach out of the country, and then the detailed targeting. You can also use a saved audience that you've already created, that you created when you did a boost. You can use that saved audience as well. And then you're going to say, okay, well, what in the world is placement? I mean, this is crazy. Now, when it says recommended, I would just go ahead and say, unless you're looking for something really specific, like I only want this post to go on Instagram, or I only want this post to go on my desktop newsfeed, use the automatic. Facebook is going to maximize your dollars where they're performing the best. So they're not going to burn you here, and they're going to pay attention to where your ads are doing really well for you. So this is all the budget stuff on ad campaigns. I know some of you are probably like, okay, I'm already overwhelmed. Again, it's a lot like boosting a post. So your budget and schedule is going to depend on how much you'd like to spend and where you'd like your ad and when you'd like your ads to appear. So difference on here is you can either choose a daily budget or a lifetime budget. So the daily budget works, obviously you're going to pay $11 a day. You can choose a schedule and say you can set a you can set a start date and an end date, and it's going to tell you how much you're going to spend a week. Now again, this optimization for ad delivery, they like to use a lot of big words on here. But all that means is, are you looking for post engagement, page likes, or event responses? The bid amount, don't worry about that for right now. Just choose automatic again, because again, Facebook is going to help you out here and optimize your dollars where they're actually doing something for you. And then over here, the lifetime budget is a little bit different in that you can say, okay, well, I only have, this one says $350, but I've hardly ever seen anybody spend that amount of money on a Facebook ad campaign. So lifetime budget, you know, you could say, okay, I want to spend $50 total. And you can say, okay, well, I'm going to start that July 27th and end it August 27th. Then you can go down here, everything's the same. And then down in ad scheduling, you see how it's blocked off here and you can't access it on the left. Well, under lifetime budgets, you can run your ads on a schedule. And then this will pop up. And you can say, okay, well, I know my customers are only online from Friday at 3 o'clock in the morning until, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can actually schedule hours when you want your ad to run so that you're not spending money where your audience isn't online. So it can be useful to you if you already know your audience well. If you know that your clients are young and they're like night owls and they can stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning, which, I mean, who can do that anymore? Again, it's going to be really useful for you as a company. And I know several banks in particular who use this option. And it's a great option for them because they're closed on the weekends. And they can choose to run their ads Monday through Friday and get really great results. So these are some ad examples. Over on your left, you're going to see call to action, which is the use now button. And then they're doing some text up here saying build your network and reach new audiences for free. And it's an eye-catching image where you're like, what in the world is happening right now? And your eye doesn't immediately go to this text. It goes to the cow swimming next to a dolphin. And then the other one, I mean, again, guys, this is pretty self-explanatory based off of what I told you. 20% text, it's always better. And then here's all your good information, and it's pushing them right to your website, which you have on the bottom, and they can like your page directly from there. Yeah, and a big thing about the ad is you get text on the top and the bottom of the image, as you can see here. And so, again, you don't have to feel like you can pack it all in on that one image because you get lines on the top and the bottom, which is a little bit different than a boost. So some of those other methods that I told you about are promoting your page. So how to promote your page is you're going to, on your actual page itself, on the bottom left side of your page, all the way at the bottom, there's a little blue button that says promote. Once you click on that, these three options are going to appear. The newest one being this ongoing promotion that I kind of want to push a little bit for some of your clients maybe that don't have the time to get on there often, or they want a continuous running promotion that they don't have to go into all the time. This is a new feature that Facebook has for $35 a month. You can get website clicks. I have already promoted this to several of our clients, and it's something that you don't even have to think about. Which is great for people who are who just need something out there continuously running. Again, one of my wineries picked up on this, and she is going to be using this. You can also promote your business locally. It will pull a local audience for you, and it will connect you with people nearby. And then the promote your page is going to connect more people with your page and in general. So they're all really great options for your page. I like to use this feature for brand new businesses. This is a really great option for them to get more exposure when they first start up their business page on Facebook. And then making an offer. This is going to be on your main page, right where you would do a post. So share a photo or video, advertise your business. And then the third one over is creating an offer. So some of the things are that you want to keep in mind. You want to use an engaging image. You want to allow time for customers to claim that offer. And then you want to make a substantial discount. 20% off or more will make your offer more visible. And then this little screen is going to pop up where you can put your photo. You can say, where can people redeem this? In-store, online. You can add a promo code. And you can also add terms and conditions, which I would highly recommend because a lot of people like to find loopholes these days. And I don't know about you, but I find that everybody wants something for free. So if you again, once something that's really important to know about making an offer is that once you create that offer and you push publish, you cannot change that offer. So you're either going to have to delete it and start all over again, or you're going to just say to yourself, well, that just happened. And so really know what you're going for when you're doing this, because again, once you create it and hit publish, you cannot change it. You can boost your offer, you can set terms and conditions like I already said, and then that promo code is really helpful as well, especially if you're working with a partnering group or partnering Facebook business page. That's a really great feature that you can use. Okay, so how do you review your efforts after you've gone through all this effort on Facebook? So getting to know your audience better, what you can do is go to the top of your page. So this is at the very top of your Facebook business page. You have page, inbox, notifications, insights, publishing tools, and then way over on the right-hand side, you have settings. So you're going to hit on insights for your page. And This insights for your page is going to show you your demographic for people who have already liked your page. It's going to show you that you have 60 people in Watertown, 9 people in Lowville, 8 people in Syracuse. So you can see that the majority of your demographic is in Watertown for this particular page that I used. 84% of the women of your fans are women, and 15% are men. And it'll show you right down to 27% are, hey, between the ages of 25 and 34, which I'm pretty sure is the Facebook age demographic. Followed closely by 35 to 44. So again, there are people over the age of 34 on Facebook. Hey, what do you know? And Chris is just making sure that I point out that there are also 13% of 45 to 54, and he just wants me to make sure and point that out to you all. And then you can see over here who's actually engaging on your posts. So a whopping 92% of people who are actually engaging on your posts are women. So for this particular Facebook page, it might be more beneficial for them to then look at their demographic when they're posting something and say, hey, maybe I should be pushing this to women instead of men, because only 8% of the men that have liked their page are doing something about it. So that means people who are actually taking action on your page, commenting, liking, and sharing. 92% of the people on this particular page that I pulled from were women. Ads reporting is available in both Ads Manager and Power Editor, and you can track and measure ad campaigns in the same place that you create and manage them. You can see everything from who you reached to how many conversions your campaign prompted. And how you go and see this is you're going to go under this little tab arrow here, all the way down past Create Ads and go into Manage Ads. And again, that's going to open your Facebook Ads Campaign Manager. And you're going to click on your ad account. If you haven't created one yet, you are going to have to create one. So just keep that in mind. If you get a different screen than this when that appears, you'll have to go ahead and create one if you haven't already. If you have one set up, you'll just click on your name. And then you can go to whichever campaign that you're interested in, and it's going to show you these results. So it's going to say something like 567 post engagements. It's going to show you the cost per post engagement, which again, that's commenting, liking, sharing. That's engagement. It's going to show you the overall amount spent, which was like a little bit less than $17. And then when you go down to performance, there's also demographics and placement. And that's, again, really going to show you what your audience looks like, which is pretty darn close to what our insights already showed us, 97%. And this, so it'll show you up here, the dark blue is post engagements, the light green is reach, and it'll show you that you spent a grand total of 3 cents per result, which is pretty awesome. And again, those are all under each individual ad campaign name. So those are all good things. Some creative tools to keep in mind, especially for your clients, are Canva. There are some paid features on there. Promo, it's an online video maker with built-in text editing and music. Animoto has voiceover, text control, collages, and layouts for video. And the fourth one is a really important one that I want to point out to you guys. A lot of people are using images on Facebook for their Facebook business pages that are not royalty free. That is a huge mistake. Chris can back me up on this. There have been people sued of using photographs that do not belong to them without crediting the original source. Please, please, please make sure that your businesses are using royalty-free images so that they are not being penalized. Legally, they're not allowed to do that. Here's just some sources that we used, and I just want to wrap up here with any final questions that you guys might have. And let me have Chris add in here and weigh in so I'm not the only one talking.
Okay, before your questions, back to the royalty-free images, we may be pointing out something you already know, but I can't beat it enough. Whether you use the free site that she mentioned, or whether you subscribe to something like Getty or iStock or Adobe or something like that, I've known companies that have had to pay thousands of dollars because they're using images on their website, their Facebook pages, their Instagram pages as part of their marketing, that they just got off of Google or Yahoo or something like that, and they thought they could use them. Getty and all these places has software that just scans the internet continuously, looking for the codes of their images, and if you find them, we had a client we knew of that put something on, and it wasn't authorized. It cost them $3,000, and that was the settlement price. So it's very serious business, because they go back and they find out how long it's been on, and so you're better off paying the $15 for an image, or I have a subscription where I pay so much per year, and I can use as many as we want. Then finally, what we whipped through literally today was on Facebook, and I want to reiterate that it can be used in Instagram, it can be used in Google Plus, it can be used in LinkedIn, it can be used in one of the 8 or 9 major platforms out there. But the concept is that it can be part of any business's advertising program, and literally for a fraction of the cost. I have businesses that I deal with because I have a marketing business, and last winter they're a retail store, and during the December rush, we did not do any traditional TV or radio for the first time. We just did Facebook and Instagram advertising, where we did videos and we did boosts and we did ad campaigns, and his business still saw a growth, and he literally saved thousands of dollars. We recommend calendars where you literally set up a month or 2 at a time, and you literally lay out, okay, I'm going to do these posts. Now, you don't have to have the topics all the time, but you're going to set it up because people get busy. And then I'm going to do an ad campaign this week, and then 10 days later I'm going to do another boost, and I'm going to do this. And so it becomes structured, just like you would with TV or radio. And then we call it digital marketing. Email blasts are part of that. Videos on YouTube. How many people go to YouTube and they see video ads at the beginning, and you skip them after 5 seconds? But your clients could have their video ads at the beginning of that targeted just like the beginning of what she talked about, with targeted interest based on search results. A couple other quick things is I want to reiterate the use of video in your Facebook posts, especially because now Facebook has made it so that they autoplay on phones unless the settings are changed. So you get that kind of instant drawn attention to it. And also, if you're not aware of it, you can change the header image on the top of your Facebook page so that it is a video playing up there, which gets a lot of attention. So these are just some of the tools we use with clients. We recommend them highly. They're very effective. And the best thing Kayla said is you get to play with it. And you can change it in and out, and you can see whether you're getting results from it. Okay. We're going to, I guess, take questions now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take questions. Does anybody have any questions for Kayla or Chris? If you do, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you, or you can type them into the question box. And so far, nobody's typing in any questions, so that means you guys were very, very thorough.
Or they all left?
I see them still there. So.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, we'll give you another 30 seconds to type a question in. And then if not, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Oh, we do have a question. Oh, we have a comment. Thanks. Super well explained. Thank you, Glamis, for that comment. Anybody else? All right. Well, we will go ahead and wrap things up. So, nope, excellent presentation. Thanks for that, AlphaNet. So Chris and Kayla, thank you so very much for presenting for us today, and thank you very much, Kia, for arranging this. So we will go ahead and end the webinar soon.
Thanks so much for having us, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Great. Thanks. You too.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.